Yeah.
Questions for our student athletes, Cameron Britt and Thomas Isagwa.
Cam, the final 3 minutes of the first half, obviously was a huge turn in the game and then carried over in the second. What changed in that stretch where they went, I think, 13-0 run to end the half?
I think that we probably weren't as patient as we needed to be offensively, getting great shots. And then, they took advantage of it in transition on the other end.
Thomas, how tough did they make it for you guys to even get shots up from three-point range? I think you had 7 in the first half, and that's well below your average attempts.
They stuck to their game plan. They knew plays, and they knew when screens were coming and everything. They just played tough, and shout out to them for sticking to their game plan and keep chopping wood like they did, and kudos to them.
Barry Brown mentioned how they had prepared for the different defensive schemes from man to the different zones. Could you tell that they had kind of anticipated that?
Absolutely. They were just well prepared. You can tell that's a veteran ball club over there, and kudos to them. But whoever had the scout for them, coach-wise, he did a great job. And as a whole team, they did a great job sticking to their game plan and executing it.
What do you think made the start of that second half so difficult for you guys to get shots to fall?
Can you repeat that?
You good?
What do you think was the reason for that scoring drought starting the second half?
I don't know. I feel like we got great shots. They just didn't fall. And with a team like that, who slows it down, and possessions are shorter, you can only go so many offensive possessions without making a basket. A team like that, they don't really beat themselves. So when you get good shots, you got to knock them down.
Reading you guys, what made Dean Wade so hard to defend tonight?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, just what made Dean Wade so hard to defend tonight? He had 24 and hit all 9 of his shots.
I mean, they're a good ball club. I mean, it's just not just Dean Wade that you have to worry about. You got guys coming off the bench that are good. They have other guys on the court that are good. So you can't just put the isolated camera on Dean Wade. He didn't miss a shot tonight, so anytime he had the opportunity to shoot the basketball, he made it. He wasn't even the highest shot taker. So he's a tough player to guard, being very efficient, and you just can't put an isolated camera on him. There's other guys out there that makes Dean Wade so good and make the other players so good.
Cam, given your guys' roster situation, how tough are those droughts to kind of endure for you guys when the offense just isn't clicking?
It's just something that we have to take care of internally. I mean, it'll be easier because we can all find the problem that we've been going through throughout the game. It's only 7, 8 of us that's actively playing, so we can definitely communicate it, and we can make it clear to one another that we need to get certain things done on the court.
Is that communication happening? You guys?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you can't just say it. You have to, put it in play, and sometimes it'll take a little longer than others, and that's where we have to be better at.
What was Coach's message to you guys after the game?
They're a good ball club. It's a reason why they went to the Elite Eight last year and they had everyone returning. And they played really well today. Just tip their hat to them. Now we just got to we have tomorrow an off day and back to practice on Monday. And the great thing about basketball is you don't have to wait so long to play again. Unlike football, you have to wait like a week. But in basketball, it's a quick turnaround. So we learned from this, and now we prepare for the next one.
Cam, what do you anticipate Monday and Tuesday will be like? Try to put a loss like this in the back.
Just try to fly around and defend and play with a clear mind. We can't hold our heads down. I mean, it's a competitive league. I mean, even though it was a bad loss, it's still one loss. So this will hurt just as bad as a 2-point loss here, and then we have to move on to the next game.
Is it harder to move on? No one kind of lost 4 or 5 now, and is it harder in games like this when it seems like everything's going against you to really keep your head up and realize that it's only one game?
I mean, that's about maturity. I think that we'll relay that message to the younger guys. But I think they understand that your next game is all you have. I mean, any win in this league is a big accomplishment. There's no must-win games. So we just have to go out and perform better next game, and then move on from there.
This question for either of you guys. Just given how they shot last game, and they've had a lot of games this season they've shot terribly from the three-point line. Were you surprised how well they shot it tonight beyond the arc?
I wouldn't say surprised because they have really good players over there, but they did shoot the ball better than what they have all season. And when a team that is that good defensively, shooting the ball that well offensively, I mean, you're in for a tough game then.
Anything else? Thanks, everyone. We'll be right back with you.
Hey, guys.
Thank you, guys.
K-State's really good, and they showed it today. They played really well. We didn't play really well, and it was because of them. So all the credit to their team, their staff. They beat us just about every facet of the game today. And it's hopefully an opportunity for our guys to see what it looks like when you go through it and you lived it. Because, again, I remember watching that group of kids, particularly Wade Brown and Stokes as sophomores when we were first here, and seeing how they were still trying to figure this thing out. And they finally did, and they've not looked back. So credit to Bruce and his staff and his kids for playing a hell of a game today.
What do you think it was toward the end of the second half that kind of lit a fire in your guys to try to rally back a little bit?
I mean, I don't know if anything lit a. I mean, it's pride, I guess. We were being embarrassed on our home court, and no one felt good about that. And so, our message was just keep competing, play the game the right way, and the kids did a good job with that.
They really kind of took Lindy out of the offense completely in the first half, and Barry Brown even mentioned, the scouting report mentioned that he gets going early. How key was that to sort of things kind of getting a little bit maybe dysfunctional for you guys on offense?
No, that was obviously a huge key, but it also goes to show you, not to belabor the point, it's what championship caliber teams do, right? There's a plan, then there's execution, because a lot of people have a plan, and there's a miscommunication in one area, and all of a sudden he's open for a shot. I don't think he even got a three off until pretty late in the game. And so it shows you just their level of maturity, their level of commitment to their game plan, and the fact that, again, they've learned how to handle these moments. They're coming off a loss on the road a week ago, and they know that you got to try to take care of business as much as you can control in this league, and they did that again tonight. Dean Wade was spectacular, but Barry, because he does it on both ends of the court, he can control the game, both offensively and defensively, and he was definitely the difference today.
You mentioned the plan and execution. Cam said that, the guys are communicating among each other well. They've got the plan. What do you think it takes for you guys to get from the plan to the execution like that?
I wish I knew that, to be honest. I don't have a great answer for you on that. I just know that we got to keep getting better. We got to keep working at it. We have to keep learning how to, we talked for a couple of days about how aggressive they were defensively. And part of the plan is you got to try to score on them early. You don't get great shots early in the clock. They get settled in, and they become pretty hard to score on late. And they don't make mistakes in possessions defensively. And they took us completely out of our transition offense, which certainly hurt us today.
What was going through your mind at the start of that second half when they couldn't get a shot to fall?
Well, again, for a while, neither team could. I think we went to the first media before anybody scored. So I think our guys were still trying to play the game the right way. We were obviously already down a fairly good amount. We just couldn't find a rhythm offensively. But again, that's because K-State was that good defensively.
The 16 three-pointers K-State made tonight is a record for them for a conference game in the history of the school. given how much they've struggled in some games this year, shooting the three, did it surprise you how well they shot it today?
Yes and no. I mean, you kind of start having that snowball effect, right? And that happens, and it gets contagious. I know it sounds like crazy, like, well, you don't make a shot because somebody else did, but you feel better. And as the game gets further away from really being in contention, the shots, they're easier to make. Nothing to take away from the kids who made them.
They're not high-pressure shots because it's not a close game.
Right. And so, yes, it surprised me that we didn't do a good enough job early in eliminating those opportunities, because again, once they get going, you're really trying to fight two battles. First, you're trying to fight the battle of how do you score versus them, and then when they get going offensively like that, and they've got multiple guys who have ability, there's a reason they were picked by, I don't know, at least one person to win the league.
When they go on a run like they do, I think it was 19-0 between the two halves. What do you try to do to make sure that your players' spirits aren't being broken by that?
Yeah, just keep preaching. That's one thing I told them in one of the timeouts. You know, you're not allowed to give in. You're not allowed to. It's going to be at the core of our DNA as this program. Is we're going to always compete to the best that we can, no matter how bad it looks or how good it's going. And it goes beyond the court. You know, if you start to give in, you start to quit. We didn't do that, but it becomes easier to do that again. So we have to continue to fight that off, no matter how hard it is to stay out there and keep taking those blows. And we took some haymakers today.
I know part of your plan for this month is getting to bed a little earlier. Is that going to be tough over the next couple of days, just in terms of trying to figure this thing out?
Still 24 hours in a day. You know, it's discipline. That's what this thing's all about. And so I'll figure it out. So I'm trying to keep my answer short today.
You mentioned what they did defensively against you guys. Did that in turn lead to some of the defensive problems you guys had because they started getting out in transition?
Yeah, but they do that to you because again they make you work so hard just to get good shots. Not to score, just to get good shots, and we didn't get a ton of them. It's had to be one of our lower field goal shooting, and they didn't shoot a ton of shots. They just made them all. You know. So again, it becomes a kind of a dichotomy of, man, we're really struggling defensively, and now they're going on the other end. And how do you continue to believe that you can win the game? Because it keeps getting a bigger separation. But again, I think they're an elite team. I think they're one of the upper tier teams in all of college basketball, and they showed it today.
What was behind your technical?
I thought it was a bad call, and I expressed that probably a little bit too aggressively.
Coach, just make it easier. You know, the conference is so tough. You can kind of shake this one off and just move on to the next game. There's not much time.
That's never easy. I mean, we got beat pretty soundly. You know, there were a couple games where, you know, I've said the score doesn't necessarily indicate this wasn't a 2-possession game. We got beat. We got beat pretty soundly, and it was pretty well in the bag about halfway through the second half, if not before. So what we got to do is we got to look in the mirror and figure out, why did that happen? We can't dwell on it because it doesn't get any easier. Get to go on the road now, which is always tough. And I'm sure that the next team won't feel bad for us that we didn't play well today.
I know Duncan hadn't really practiced very much the last couple of days, just kind of taking it slow with him to make sure he recovers.
Yeah, he's not well. I don't want to make an excuse. He's not well. He's not. He wanted to give it a go, but it was pretty obvious that even the shot he got, which he's not a great shooter, I mean, it's a 1-foot shot. He just couldn't get it to the rim, and we'll probably evaluate how much he gets used here over the next couple days.
Anything else? Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.